Francis Boyle, the Harvard professor who literally wrote America's 1989 Biological Weapons Act and was set to be a star witness against Bill Gates and Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla in the ongoing Dutch Crimes Against Humanity trial, has been found. Days before, he was scheduled to give a sealed deposition, proving that the mRNA shots were intentionally designed as. This comes weeks after the Dutch plaintiff's lead lawyer was dragged from the courtroom in handcuffs and disappeared into a government re-education camp. His crime? Questioning the medical advice of Gates and Bourla. They're not rigging the trial anymore, they're terminating it, along with anybody who gets in their way. We can't let this happen. This report contains urgent and vital information for the whole world. Share it widely, before the global elite silence all of us. Just days after Professor Francis Boyle agreed to testify against Bill Gates and Albert Bourla in a Dutch court, a move that would have placed him directly in the crosshairs of the most powerful pharmaceutical and philanthropic empires on Earth, he turned up under circumstances that insiders are already calling highly convenient. Boyle lived in Chicago, a city long whispered about as a playground for global power brokers, a place where inconvenient people tend to vanish and inconvenient stories tend to die fast. In a town like that, if the globalist machine wants you gone, it doesn't take long.
Now, there was a sixth witness, Professor Francis Boyle, who is actually expert on bioweapons, having drafted several bioweapons conventions-related laws in the U.S. And 3 weeks after he agreed to testify on behalf of the plaintiffs that these products and the process was deployment of bioweapons, he suddenly died. And we still don't know the cause of death. And the only thing that we know is he was perfectly healthy prior and was teaching full-time. He was in his mid-70s. And this was a shock to all of us. And this looks very suspicious to me. I can't speculate on what happened, but I would really like to know the cause of death, and we don't know that. So that's where we are right now. This is how serious it is. These people stop at nothing.
The real warning sign came even earlier. The lead attorney in the Dutch case, the one preparing the case alongside Boyle, was SWAT raided, dragged out of his home, and disappeared by the WF-infiltrated Dutch government under manufactured medical terrorism charges. This isn't random. This isn't coincidence. This is the globalist system protecting its evil overlords.
These are very serious charges. If the judge in this case puts them on trial, I'm telling you, the international media will blow up, and we might see another Nuremberg trial take place.
Here we go again. No doubt I'm going to see the last outcries in the comment section about how I'm no longer a gaming channel, but some schizo now getting riled up for absolutely no reason at all. No, really. They actually see things like this, and before they even have a chance to question any of it, it's like they factory reset themselves back to their default programming. I know, I have to be botted or something. These have to be bots. Do not ask questions. I do not see anything. Obey, obey, obey. So you know what? If you're one of those people, if you're even real, because I'm still not convinced that these people are real humans, just unsubscribe. Shut up, stay in your houses, take your shots, and be a good little NPC. I actually stole that line from Minutes of Horror. That's a good channel. You should watch it, by the way. Because I'm obviously just not getting through to these people. So we've talked about this before on this channel, and that's the plan to lower the amount of people that are on this planet. I mean, I don't even know what I can say on YouTube anymore. We've seen this with the guiding stones. We've also seen this when they talk about how AI is going to replace most of our jobs. We've seen this with all the land grabs, all this farmland being bought up, all the biblical events that are happening around the world, the massive you-know-what happening in you-know-where involving the people we're not allowed to talk about. It's very clear that they want us to get used to the idea of seeing a lot of people not being around in the near future. And I've talked about this before, with the greater plan of merging us with technology, digital brain interfaces, and how they ultimately want to change what it means to be human. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. Just watch my other videos if you don't believe me. And the techno-psychopaths have been talking about this type of thing for a long time.
However, the most intelligent inhabitants of that future world won't be men or monkeys. They'll be machines, the remote descendants of today's computers. Now, the present-day electronic brains are complete morons, but this will not be true in another generation. They will start to think, and eventually they will completely outthink their makers. Is this depressing? I don't see why it should be. We superseded the Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal men, and we presume we're an improvement. I think we should regard it as a privilege to be stepping stones to higher things.
And I know this is wild, and I've heard people say that too much of this information all at once can scare people off. I'm well aware of that, but I'm also aware that the clock is ticking. 2030 is not a long ways away, and I can see this going one of two ways. Either these discussions become commonplace on most platforms, or the more realistic route, they silence all of us, like how they're doing right now by flooding the internet with AI slop, as well as putting certain laws in place that effectively end free speech online. But anyways, here's Dennis Meadows, an American scientist and professor of systems management, former director of the Institute for Policy and Social Science Research at the University of New Hampshire, and he's talking about the same thing, the same plan.
Globally, we are so far above the population and the consumption levels which can be supported by this planet that I know in one way or another it's going to come back down. So I don't hope to avoid that. I hope that it can occur in a civil way, and I mean civil in a special way. Peaceful. Peace doesn't mean that everybody's happy, but it means that conflict isn't solved through violence, through force, but rather in other ways. And so that's what I hope for. That we can, the planet can support something like 1 billion people, maybe 2 billion, depending on how much liberty and how much material consumption you want to have. If you want more liberty and more consumption, you have to have fewer people. And conversely, you can have more people. We could even have 8 or 9 billion probably if we have a very strong dictatorship, which is smart. Unfortunately, you never have smart dictatorships. They're always stupid. But if you had a smart dictatorship and a low standard of living, you can have but we want to have freedom and we want to have a high sentence. So we're going to have 1 billion people. And we're now at 7, so we have to get back down. I hope that this can be slow, relatively slow, and that it can be done in a way which is relatively equal, so that people share the experience and you don't have a few rich, trying to force everybody else to deal with it. So those are my hopes. These are pretty pessimistic hopes, but...
And I don't know how people are still not seeing this and waking up. But I said it before that I was the same way, an NPC before all of this. I mostly grew up around the whole 9/11 thing and the moon landing being fake. I'm pretty sure we all heard about those things. But I feel like I was really too young to understand the world I was living in. And even into adulthood, I wasn't seeing the signs and all the rituals taking place, like the Olympics opening in 2012. I'll probably have my channel nuked if I show you that one, but if you're interested, go and check that one out. But anyways, they've been talking about this stuff for years. It's not a conspiracy, like the own nothing, be happy people at the forum. They've been saying it.
Bob is getting worried. His WEF 2030 agenda has been exposed by his own arrogance about having penetrated the cabinets with his WEF puppets, like Sunak in the UK, also Trudeau in Canada, and they now fear the masses rising in a revolution against the elitists and the globalists. New World Order. He attacks Brexit and criticizes Trump 2024. They are becoming afraid. So watch this. So now they've been talking openly about having all their WEF little buddies in all the cabinets and all the Western governments.
Yeah, for the stakeholders.
And he said that out loud. Now people know, and people are getting upset about it. Well, here's what he says now.
For this reason, What we have seen in the elections, in the United States, in the Brexit vote, this anger of people against globalization and against the elites. If you look what's happening in the United States, particularly, you have this anti-system movement. What we are seeing is a revolution against the system. It's dismantling the system, and we see certain elements of this now in the new US administration.
So he's saying, oh my, the people are rising up against the system that we created, that we've entrapped them in. People are rising up against it. And by the way, the most important thing to remember about this is none of it's a conspiracy.
I know.
Yeah. This melted wax statue of Colonel Klink has been very open about this plan the whole time. The idea, they had no idea anyone would have a problem with this.
Yeah, all those, like, you'll own nothing and love it. They put it out, the statement. People look at it. They're like, oh, everyone's mad. You got to debunk the thing we literally just said. And you can't because you said it, so they got to go, no, but it's not bad. What are you making this into a bad thing? There's going to be no elections. We have a predictive, prescriptive model. Yeah. We like
You'll own nothing and like it. You'll own nothing and like it.
Then you got people like Elon's baby mama saying things like this. Did any of you catch this one?
Overall, I think there's quite a bit of abdication of responsibility around like, what are we going to do as people's jobs start being taken fairly aggressively? Luckily, there's a massive population drop coming, so maybe everything is just fate and it's going to work out okay. But I feel like we might get like very, very, very good AI across every pillar of art before there aren't any more people to make art.
I don't know about you, but this lady had kids with arguably the richest man in the world. You'd think she would at least know a little bit more than the average person? Or what about Rob Schneider talking about this? I think I remember this from a couple years back and really didn't think anything of it because, come on, it's a comedy show, you know? It's not supposed to be serious, right? But channels like Call for an Uprising, really good channel, you should check it out, talks about how they like to use comedy as a means of predictive programming. It's kind of like they're softening you up so that when a major event does take place, you're already desensitized. But yeah, this right here.
And then we have another crazy billionaire, Bill Gates, says there's too many of us. His thing by 2030 is to depopulate the planet. And I just wondered, like, are we part of the population that he wants to depopulate? Says there's too many of us. And he says it. And people go, it's a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory. He said it. You can go on YouTube. He said Bill Gates. Sorry, I was thinking about Epstein's Island for a second. So, Bill Gates, you go see it on YouTube. He says one of the goals by 2030 is to lower the population of the planet. And one of the ways to do that is using vaccines. It's like, what? People go, no, that's a conspiracy theory. So he said it. You can go see. He said, yeah, but it's a conspiracy theory to think, he meant what he said. Says what? He said it. He meant it. He's doing it, and it's working. People go, it's a conspiracy theory. What?
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
More than 11,000 scientists signed a petition calling for population control as a means of combating climate change. In an article published Tuesday in the journal Bioscience, the scientists wrote that planet Earth is, quote, facing a climate emergency. They argued that population control was a necessary response to this emergency, writing, quote, the world population must be stabilized and ideally gradually reduced.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
When our foundation first started up, it was focused on reproductive health. That was the main thing we did because I thought, population growth in poor countries is the biggest problem they face. Well, over this decade, we believe unbelievable progress can be made, both inventing new vaccines and making sure they get out to all the children who need them. The benefits there in terms of reducing sickness, reducing the population growth, it really allows the society a chance to take care of itself once you've made that intervention.
What the developing world does not need is more children.
And I think that was the biggest aha to Bill and me when we got into this work, is we asked ourselves, of course, the same hard-nosed question you'd ask, which is, if you get into this work and you start to save these children, will women just keep overpopulating the world?
And I got one last clip for you guys before I end the video. A little unrelated, but I thought it was really strange. It was about the storms out in LA, but here, check this out. You can't tell me this is even remotely normal. If you have any theories, leave them in the comments, but I added some of my speculations into the clip. Let me know if I'm onto something or if this is just a huge nothing burger. Anyways, that's it for me.
Storm coverage here. We're talking about the Eden Fire burn scar area that was hit hard by that first round of rain.
That's why road crews and people who live there have been dealing with widespread mud and debris flow. Mario Ramirez is live in Altadena with a look at the mess.
Yeah, that's right, and it has left a mess. We know Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency, freeing up state resources to be used here in Southern California. And this driver here has been making his way through the area. What's your name, sir?
Lazarus.
Lazarus, how has it been looking? You just came down from the hill here.
It's better now. The city's up there. They're working really hard right now, and the sheriffs are up there controlling everything, and everyone seems pleased.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas. Hope this hasn't gotten into your plans too much.
No, the Lord God of Israel's come. Have a good day now.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So he's talking about just up the bend here along Loma Alta. We can tell you that we did see crews earlier clearing the way, feet of mud in some areas. Yeah, that's right, and it has left a mess. We know Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency, freeing up state resources to be used here in Southern California. And this driver here has been making his way through the area. What's your name, sir?
Lazarus.
Lazarus, how has it been looking? You just came down from the hill here.
It's better now. The city's up there. They're working really hard right now, and the sheriffs are up there controlling everything, and everyone seems pleased.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas. Hope this hasn't gotten into your plans too much.
No, the Lord God of Israel's come. Have a good day now.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So he's talking about just up the bend here along Loma Alta. We can tell you that we did see crews earlier clearing the way, feet of mud in some